take over. Hey, Andy and Jamie, what's going on?
Hey Scott, thanks man. Jamie, how are you?
Hanging in there, buddy. Kind of an interesting day today.
Yeah. Market, it's still the jury's still out on what's going to do with this market. Yeah, it's not snapping back with vengeance, but we'll talk about in the market recap. But yeah, so definitely some things to look out for. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining us today. Looks like we're going to have a good crowd. And my name is Andy, and that is Jamie, my sidekick there, and Scott is working all the technology stuff for us. Once again, thanks for taking time out of your day to joining us. This is the Trading Studio. Before we do, I do want to go over our disclaimer. Okay, we are a content published ideas, but nothing should be construed as investment advice. Okay, this is for educational purposes only. If you're looking for investment advice, please seek out a registered advisor, a stockbroker, somebody who can legally give you that information. All right, before we move on, support education and training. All right, we have webinars every Monday through Thursday in the same time slot, 5 Eastern, where we will show you. I'm gonna go over some really incredible stuff today on what you can do with our windows. And we do this in every webinar, and we do encourage interaction. So this is a great place to learn, to get education and training. But we also have the traders room, which is moderated by Barry. He's a great trader and a great moderator, and he's also really good at helping. He knows the software really well, and he'll take on questions when you're in there. Okay, the first hour or two, is probably focused on trading, but after that, when things get a little bit slower, it's a great time to ask him some questions. And then at the bottom there, guys, we have a support webinar every Friday, Monday through Friday. And this is at 12 Eastern, and we open up a go-to webinar for about, I'm sorry, this is a live stream. Scott will have a link for you at the end of this webinar. It's a live stream, and we just open it up where you can come in, you can see our desktop, and we let you ask questions, and we demonstrate anything that we need to show you on the using the live stream screen share. So it's a great place. More and more people are finding this, and they're finding it to be a gold mine when it comes to learning about trade ideas, because we're just there to answer your questions, anything that you might have. All right, I want to talk a little bit about our simulated trader, and this is really turned out to be a great interface for us. It's a module where you can actually come in. You don't pay anything extra for it. You just have to have a Trade Idea subscription, and you can use this interface to paper trade on. And it's great. You can day trade on it. You can swing trade on it. It's, like I said, it's a very aesthetic, just a beautiful little interface. And trust me, I've traded probably on a dozen softwares before, and I've never seen a blotter that's so crisp. It just gives you the data that you need, and it's really working out. We're seeing in our back office a lot of people are using this, and it can definitely help you with your trading. You do not need a broker connection. You do not need to fund an account. Okay, you just use our little module there and fire away. All right, let's go over the agenda today. Market recap. I'll be handling that, and then Jamie will give any extra ideas that he might have, and then I'll hand it over to Holly. Not a lot happening in Holly today, which is fine. We had a big gap down in the market and only 3 trades, but nothing. I don't get upset when I see that, and I think there was a couple of good ones in there, but Jamie will handle that. And then I'm gonna talk about a top list that I showed. And what I do is a lot of times I'll build these right in this room with you guys, so you can see how we build them, and then I'll check them out over the next couple of weeks. And if I see that there's definitely some decent value in it, I will revisit it and show you what I'm seeing with this top list. And then we're going to go a step further. We're going to convert this top list into a window, and then we're going to back test it, okay, to see. This is always a fun exercise because you get to see a lot of our features just go on this exercise. All right, and time permitting, we're going to take a look at some of the revenue growth fishing. There's been some jewels coming through that lately. One of them was a trade of the week called Children's Place, which was probably about a 20% winner. So I found that on revenue growth fishing. We're going to maybe look at some more and give you some ideas of which ones you might want to keep an eye on. But all right, let me back out of this and let's pull up the SPY chart real quick. Let me see if I can grab this and extend it. There we go. Textbook. We pinned the days, but you can definitely follow my crosshairs there. In a range, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. You can kind of see what's going on right now. Held range a little closer to the highs mentioned the other day. Range, you know, let thin out. Trading account, just because I just don't have a little bit different story here in a minute. Average, and now we closed day. You know, all is 10 crosses over this 50. So just things you got to watch out for. Deftness in the could be, but still downdraft there in Amazon. Let's take a look and right into the pocket. Looking there, hold this thing when it's going up. You know, if these guys are open. Argue that finding a key level, but you might be looking at this gap. What kind of led the charge higher?
Right, they're back, so it's going to be interesting to see moving forward. I saw a couple of questions pop in here. I'd like to go ahead and kind of knock out here. And yes, Chris, the chart that Andy is showing you currently is the daily time frame. And Jim, if you're not seeing your stop profit targets, but I'll show you another one, markings on the chart here area. That strategy. Let's see, prop checked. Show smart risk levels, because if we uncheck these and see if that is checked. Neo, we're going to see a larger profit. Had to sit all just some kind of lackluster performance.
It's been made into a previous version. I'm thinking you probably have one
questions that you might have in
here has been this. And I saw it was as I went to stocks like this, and I'm not going to do that. I did all that romance. And Trader's Vault was already done good. Some of them, let's take a look real quick. I may have just used position in ranges. I don't even be up a certain percentage. Yeah, might change in 6 months or something like that, but I didn't. So very interesting. But anyway, so what I want to do, I said, well, setups in here. I wonder they're satisfying all these. We go right click and we're to an A window. So we just write, that's what it is. Okay, so our configuration did come, just wanted to going out and pinging the market every few minutes in symbols that are, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use, comes on an intraday. So I need something where I would feel like I would act upon a trade. In other words, I'd buy the stock. So I'm gonna be wanting it to hit more than just a 1 or 2 day high. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put in satisfied, okay? So in other words, we know it's based on our Neo chart that I showed you earlier. So the setup is there, but I want something I can back test, and that's why I'm going to use a new high and a 5 day high. I just don't want to hit a 1 or 2 day high. Okay, we'd get a lot of noise. It's in no man's land. So let's do a back test on a 5 day high. Okay, so let's do that right now because all of our filters are there. We're ready to go. Let me go ahead and change the name of this before, so we don't need to. Okay, and got that in there. Make sure everything's in there. Price, okay, we're ready to go. All right, so this is our new A window, okay? So now we can back test it. We need an event, like a new high, to back test. You cannot back test T windows. There's no event in there, okay? You have to have an event and a timestamp of that event. So you can have a entry, and then of course, we're gonna configure our exit in the back tester. All right, so let's do this. Back test. And what I like to do when I'm back testing is open the time up all the way. Okay. Timed exit. I'm going to go ahead and do a swing trade. We're looking at a daily chart. Okay. So we don't want to day trade it. We want to swing trade it. So that we're going to close this out at the market. And I always like using 3 days. For some reason, I've used different days. 3 days works the best for me. So I'm going to close it out at the market in 3 days. Risk management is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to use a %, and then I am going to use a 3% stop. Okay. Advanced, don't try to make these back tests more complicated. I mean, these advanced exit conditions and all this other stuff, trust me, if you just kind of use what I'm using right now, you'll find yourself able to breeze through these a lot quicker and run these different scenarios and optimizations. I've played around with these, and trust me, most things, I mean, the target or the, not the target, but the time trumps all of these advanced exits that you can put in there. So we are going to stretch this out all the way and back test it for 64 trading days. So that's over 3 calendar months worth of data. All right, summary is just going to give us everything we just did, and we're going to hit simulate buy. And hopefully it runs fast. Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, hopefully we get this thing. I tried it out. Obviously, I like to kind of prepare myself, but I may take a little bit different angle when I go into my optimization. I kind of want to try something instead of going into price and time first. I do this every now and then, and I did not do it the first time through on this alert, but I think it's a good practice. Price and time are usually the most important variables, but sometimes you can use a filter that is actually better. And I was thinking about this when I created it, and I'm gonna try something here. And I hope it picks it up the pace a little bit, because I think in the afternoons we're fighting the server. We're fighting Holly for the server because she's doing all of her back testing right now, Jamie.
That is correct. Doing the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so okay, we got a lot of drawdowns here. I don't like to see these drawdowns, but not bad. I mean, 1,300 trades. We got a 44% winning percentage, but a nice average winner versus average loser. That's not bad at all. But I'm thinking we can make this a lot better. So I'm gonna, like I said, this is gonna be kind of a reverse strategy than what I normally do. Normally I'll go into optimization and I will do price and time first. But I was thinking in my head what I'd like to see on a daily setup like this. And one of the things I really like to see is that 10-period moving average on the daily chart kind of hugging. Let me look at an example real quick to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Like in NEO here. See how NEO, especially on this move right here, now started buying it back in here, but on this move right here, look at that 10-period moving average. It's like a launching pad. A lot of times when you get these nice wedge setups, you'll get this kind of 10-period launching pad. So what I thought to myself, I said, well, let's go ahead and optimize it based upon where the price is in relation to that 10-period moving average. So we can go into other filters, and we can just look for, I think it's called change from 10-period SMA. Let me see. Yep, there it is. Change from 10-day SMA. So let's click on that, and we're going to bring this down to a value of, let's see, let me just do 0.5. All right. So look at here. I mean, a lot of the better ones, guys, are ones where there's not much change. Okay. I don't know why that happened. So look at all these sweet trades in here till about a change of, let me make sure, change from 10-period SMA percentage. So let me take it down to 0.25 real quick and get a little tighter so I can kind of spread it out more. All right. Oh, man, a lot of good trades right in this area. You see a lot of green. This is what you want to see when you're doing your optimization, and then it starts getting sloppy. You know, once it starts getting further away from that 10-period moving average, it starts getting a little bit sloppy. A lot of red and green back and forth. So let's just go ahead. I don't want to whack off too much because I think we want to let me do this right here. We're going to start right here. We're going to make this the strategy, the minimum. And it goes over to our thing and changes it for us. Okay, and then we're going to take this down. I may come back and do this. Right now, I'm going to take it all the way here. Even though we have a lot of these values that are way below, you know, kind of 50%, I'm still seeing a lot of good profit factors. So I don't want to chop off too much right now. Okay, so I'm going to take this to about 3.75. All right, and then what we're going to do, we're going to run it again right now and see how much we've improved from my first one.
Andy, we did have a question pop in. I thought you might want to address this one in real time, the one from Jim there at the bottom.
Okay, let me see. You can pull it out real quick. Like I said, can you recap the trigger bar and the definition of change from 10-day SMA? Sure. Let me as soon as this gets through running, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm not sure the trigger bar. I'm not sure what you mean by trigger bar.
Maybe just the alert.
The trigger price, yeah, the trigger price is going to be a 5-day high. So okay, we did improve it. We took it from 1.26 to 1.27. Now let me address your question there. Okay, what the trigger is going to be, if you look at this one right here, Jim, you're going to see this APH was our last one that came through, this setup. And you're going to see that our trigger right here, it shows the trigger on the blue area. What happened there? Remember, it's meeting all of our filter sets that we set in there, okay? So it has to be in these certain position and ranges at a minimum. And our trigger was a 5-day high. So it hit a new high right here, and it was a 5-day high, you can see. So we got a trigger in that one right there, okay? So it's not really a bar, it's a trigger, it's an event, it's a trigger price, basically. It's like, that's what you need to have a back test. And then the change from 10-day SMA is just how far the current price is when we get our trigger. How far is it from the 10-period moving average on a percentage basis? Okay, so it's just a calculation of the percentage price to the current price. It's just a simple subtraction and then a division to help you get that percentage away from the current price. I hope that makes sense to you. And the way we have it set up, we have a max on it. Okay, so if I go into my, okay, good, it says it makes sense to it. All right, so we have a range in there that only the stocks that meet that range in our filter set now, okay, is going to be the ones that are back tested. And that's what our back tester is showing us. Thus the improvement from a 1.26 profit factor to a 1.7 profit factor. Total trades came down. We only shaved off about 200 trades, but our winning percentage went up 5 percentage points from 44 to 49. It's good. And our average winner actually improved a little bit. Our average winner didn't, but our average loser came down a little bit. So everything's working out great. So there's one other one. Okay, and once again, I'm always kind of thinking in my head, what else would I like to see? Well, we talked about these charts, and I want to see, okay, since we're using position and range, we might do a couple here. First, I may do a position in yearly range, and then I'm going to do a position in 6-month range. Okay, so let's do this right now. Let's go to optimization again, and then we're going to do a position in the 6-month range. These position and ranges, guys, are very, very powerful filters. I can't tell you, I use them in like all of my alerts. So we're going to do a position in 6-month range, and we're optimizing on it. And I'm going to drop this down to, let's go 2%. Should be plenty of data there. Aha, look what we see here. Okay, we see red, kind of sloppy, not a lot of trades, and then it kind of starts getting better at 80%. Look at this green. Not sure what happened right here, anomaly or what, but that's kind of weird that you have 134 trades that were in between 88 and 89% of its 6-month range. Yeah, not sure what happened there, but it happened. Okay, our back tester is very accurate. I'm seeing a nice range here, but I'm going to take a look at position in the yearly range just to see if it gets any better. Easy to do. We're going to do position in year range, same thing at 2%. I'm not seeing as much there. Oh, I'm in that one. That's why we have a minimum of 80%. So this is why this is showing. So I'm going to go back to that 6-month range, and I'm going to actually use that as my optimization here. Put it back on 2, and then we're going to start out at 80. Remember, we can still go back and optimize on price and time. We're going to do that next, but I just kind of wanted to use these first to just take a different angle. Okay, I'm going to set the minimum value on the position in 6-month range at 80%. It's going to go over to my configuration window and do it for me. Very cool. Then I'm going to set the max at 98% or 97.99. All right, and this is what I always do, just line them up and compare them. Put it back on summary, and let's run again. It's looking better. Now, I don't want to keep doing this to the point where I get the trade count. You know, I really don't like it getting, the more I think about it, below 200. So we're going to try to maintain that. It didn't prove all that much. It did. I thought it would do better, but that's okay. We still can go back and do price and time. Okay, and it's still pretty good. Profit factor of 1.71. Let's go back to our optimizer and let's do price or time for. Let's do price first. And I'll put increments of $5. Okay, I'm definitely seeing the ones early, the cheaper stocks are not doing that well. But a lot of times, if I look in here and I don't see what I'm looking for, you know, if I'm just not seeing as much as I'd like to. I'd like to see some bigger discrepancies. In other words, I like to see some red and then drop off and see some heavy green. So what I'm going to do when I do this, I'm going to go to time of day. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to time of day first and do it that way. And we're going to put it on 30 minutes interval and see if there's anything that jumps out at us. And geez, let's see. Now I'm going to go back to price. I didn't like that at all. And we're going to start here about $40 where it jumps up to 303. And Jamie, luckily I saved the way I did it earlier this time, so I can always go back to that if things fail me. But
that is true.
Another anomaly in the 80 range. That's kind of odd. You know, that was the same thing on that percentage. It's kind of weird. We're seeing these kind of crazy. But look at there, to about 150. Those are some great numbers, and we're going to take it down to 150 here, 149.99, and we're going to set that as the max, and we're going to run it again, and then we'll go back and do time. All right, set this on summary, and let's run it one more time. Or I guess we're going to run it twice because we're going to do time as well. Actually, I'm going to overlap this one now that we got a couple going here. We know that last one was the same, around 170. $173, and not the improvement I'm expecting to see. So I took a little bit different angle. That's fine. I do this all the time. When I pull back the other one, when I pull up the one that I saved from earlier, we'll look at the differences and see what happened here. But I wanted to take a little bit different angle this time. So let's do time of day, and let's put it on 30 minutes. And let's chop off. That's strange. That's not enough trades. All right, I'm going to pull this up, the one I saved from earlier, and see the differences. All right, I'm going to go into configuration here. And this is fine. You guys may be thinking, gosh, why does he not know what he's doing? But no, I like to do it this way because it shows you a lot of time the struggles and the different angles we can take when we do these back testing. And trust me, I may do 50, like I said before, 50 windows just on one, or 50 back tests just on one window, just trying so many different scenarios. So I'm going to go into configuration here and see what the difference is in this one and the one that I did. All right. The position in 10-day range was 50 to 75. 43-month range, 75. 6-month range was there. Let me back test it now. So I'm not seeing that many differences. Okay, this is definitely looking better. Yeah, that's more like it. So this is pretty much when I took a little bit different, like I said, a different angle of approaching this, and unfortunately I did not get the same numbers. Let me go in and take a look at this configuration that we were trying to do and see what the differences are. 75 change from, did I not save these last time? So maybe I did do it and I took out the, right, look at this configuration one more time. Ah, yeah, okay, I did not see the first time I ran it, I did not see any advantage from that 10, so I basically removed that one. So that's what happens, okay, so basically that 10-day moving average was removed from the first one I did, and that's how I got these results. So there you have it. Probably what I did is I ran it and then I went back and took out that and see if it set up better, and apparently it did. So just kind of a nice showing of how, when we're doing these things, how you can put in a filter, take out a filter. But the key is when you finish, you'd like to see numbers like this. You'd like to see numbers where you have a profit factor of 2.23, a very good profit factor. You got almost a 60% winning percentage. You have your average winner at 2.51, your average loser at that's not bad. I'd like to have that a little more, but you have a very nice winning percentage up here of almost 60%. And that's why you have such a very good profit factor. In this scenario, if you were putting $2,000 or $3,000 into every trade, okay, and you started with 50,000, you would have made basically about $7,600 using this strategy over the last 64 trading days. So not bad. Any questions there?
Yeah, just that one came in just now from Bill about the cylinder score at the bottom of the top list window, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, I'll share this with you guys. Let me just go ahead and close these out to make sure I share the right one, which is this one. Yeah, what the cylinder score shows, okay, like in this, whatever I'm sorting by, like in this case, if I go to configuration and you look at sort, you're going to see relative volume ratio. No, you know what? This is probably changed from close, isn't it? Yeah, that's what that is, isn't it, Jamie?
I believe so.
Yeah, this is changed from close. I think this is a percentage, okay, that are negative on the day, and this is the percentage that is positive on the day. You're welcome, Bill. All right, guys. So first, and honestly, me personally, you can use this like today. You can see there were no, since a lot of the filters were not being satisfied, you got no alerts to this today. So me personally, I kind of like to just eyeball these. I can do this in the evening and look for these nice little setups. You know, like I said, you know, that's the way I like to use this alert. I mean, you can, if you want to, you know, use an A window, you're just not going to get as many things that you can look at. And obviously it's not really good for nighttime scanning, because you can't, you know, obviously there's no data in there today because there wasn't any trades. So that's the way I'd take it. I mean, obviously it's back tested well, so it's definitely a good A window, but at the same time, I like to kind of just use it as a scan. So let me just share these real quick and make sure everything's on live during market hours, and it is. And I'll put the top list in there first, and I'm gonna drop it into the chat window, guys. Nice setup. Top list. And then I'll do the nice setup A window here. And I'll just put A window. All right, so you guys have access to both of them. You choose the one you want to look at, if it fits your liking. And let's check my time real quick. And don't have a whole lot of time. I am going to take, and I'll spend some more time on this in my next webinar, but I do want to let you know, guys, I've been finding some really good stuff. You get this a lot of times when the market is, you know, pulling back for whatever reason. But trade of the week a couple of weeks ago was Place. This was a huge winner. It started coming through this revenue growth fishing around this area. You know, we called it, and boy, it got as high as like a 20% winner. Great winner. One that I just got in yesterday is this Cure. Okay, and the reason is I'm just seeing, you know, it's nice little bounce there, being beat up. Look at the revenue growth on this one, you know, right there, pretty big. It's not a reason, never a reason to jump in a stock. Obviously, you want something to, you know, happen. You can see a lot of frustration in this, but what I like about it is when they start to consolidate over a period of time, and this is usually takes sometimes a month and a half to really develop when they're beaten up like this. This has potential. Okay. I'll try to look at a few more right here. This is one I kind of got my eye on, beaten up, you know, but once again, there's your basing over about 6 weeks. You know, if it gets above this 50-period moving average, you know, you might want to just come and put a price alert in there. And you can see by that place, a lot of these, you know, when you're bottom fishing like this, okay, and you're right, you really want to be right. In other words, you don't want to do something like this and only take a 3% winner, okay? Now, if it fails and comes back into this range, you know, I'm not saying hold on to it, but if you get a pop out of this range, just like you saw in Place, you know, a lot of times you can get a nice, you know, big winner because these things have been beaten up so much. Let's see if I see any more in here real quick. There's one that's trying, don't know a whole lot about that one, but trying to bounce there. Codex started doing this a while back. Look at this little nice setup. Boom. Probably started coming through right around here. And nice. So keep an eye on this, guys. Once again, you can find this in the Trader's Vault. Just find the key and go there, and you can find revenue growth fishing. It's a nice little top list to find some decent opportunity. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these are going to fail. They're in a downtrend, okay? So you just have to be very disciplined when you trade them, okay? If you're wrong, as a matter of fact, getting back to Cure, I got stopped out on this day, okay? And this was in an account that me and the guys trade together, but I turned around and bought it back on this day in my own personal account. But anyway, all right, guys, it is getting late. Time to bring in Scott. Thank you so much for your great questions, your participation. And I'm going to bring in Scott, and he can walk us out of here.
Thank you. Yeah, sounds good. So a couple things to remember as we make our way out of today's webinar. We do have daily support sessions, so make sure that you tune in for those. They're easy to find. Just go to trade-ideas.com/live, and they're daily at 12 noon Eastern. It's also a great ebook to grab. It's all about earnings season and how to use it to your advantage. It's also got some cloud links that you can use to add to your layout. So go ahead and just go to trade-ideas.com/earnings and grab that one. Podcast that we release periodically has some great interviews out this year. Search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your pods. Add us as a subscription. Get ready to catch the next one as soon as we let it go, and check out the archives. The code SUMMERTIME is good for 15% off your first month or year of any Trade Ideas subscription or upgrade from standard to premium. So write that down and use it. You can find Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot, or Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. You can also find at Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook handle to like and share everything with your friends. And any questions at all, send them to info@trade-ideas.com. That goes into the help desk and gets you the solution you need in the fastest way possible. Thanks, everyone. We'll have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that email. You can go to webinar with the link. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, everybody. All right. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow in the support webinar.
See you
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.
Thanks for all your words. Bye-bye.